What is going on, guys? My name is AK, back again with another YouTube video. Now in today's video I thought what we'd do is we'd sit down and we'd talk about the Path to Pro system in Call of Duty, because in my opinion there are some things that need to be changed, because right now it's not working as well as I think it could be. So if you're someone that wants to go pro in COD or is just interested in how the Path to Pro in Call of Duty works, make sure you watch all of today's video, and I think we've got a lot of good points, and let me know of course your opinions down in the comment section below. But let's get straight into today's video. So I think a good place to start would just be to outline the current system, how it works, and then we can go into the problems associated with it and all of that in a little bit. So basically it's all based around the pro point system. So you can earn pro points in two ways. The first one is by playing your weekly matches on the pro point ladder on game battles. You can earn up to 100 points a week, and this equates to roughly 1 win a day, but of course you can do wins on whatever day you want, but it works out at about 1 win a day. And then there's also the Pro Point tournaments that happen every Saturday, or nearly every Saturday. If you guys watch the channel a lot, you'll know I stream these all the time, so you're probably familiar with what they are. And sometimes there are bigger tournaments on Saturdays, but they're all, again, Pro Point tournaments. And then these Pro Points determine your rank on a ladder compared to all of the other players that are competing in Call of Duty challenges across the world. And that way you can sort of rank yourself how you compare against other people in the world. Then the way it's supposed to work is the pro teams will look at the Pro Point ladder and then use this as a way to judge what players are playing well, and then they can have a look at those players, judge how they play, and then if they think they'll be good for the team, they can then pick them up from challengers into the Pro League. So that's how it's meant to work, but there are a few problems with it. Now the first one I want to bring up is the daily Pro Point match that you have to play. And there's a bit of an issue with these, because at the start of the year, everyone wants to play their Pro Point matches. They'll be getting on, there'll be loads of matches on the match finder. You know, you'll be able to find, you can play as many Pro Points as you want. You can probably play 20 a day if you really wanted to. But by the end of the year, that isn't really the case anymore. And now what people do is they make fake Game Battles teams with sort of 4 accounts that they don't bother using, and will just post up matches on the ladder with the intention of selecting them themselves and giving themselves a free win. And in order to hide it, because free wins are actually against the rules on Game Battles, they'll just post loads and loads up and let a whole load of people accept games and get free wins. Because I'm not being funny, it's now the middle of July and I don't think anyone has played a legitimate Pro Point match since probably about March. Like, let's be honest, nobody really plays the Pro Points how they're meant to be played anymore, and everyone pretty much just relies on the free wins to actually get their daily Pro Points. Which wouldn't be too bad if everyone just agreed to sort of let them get their daily Pro Points and that be that. To be fair, I don't really enjoy playing Pro Point matches. I'd rather play tournaments and actually practice and scrim, because I think that's more effective practice with a team than playing loads of Pro Points every day. But the problem comes when a few players decide that they're going to report people that are doing free wins, which I have to sort of point out is everyone in Call of Duty at the moment, to Game Battles. Because as I said earlier, it is officially against the rules, and Game Battles see this, they'll see that people are doing free wins, and then actually give, I believe it's a couple of months, the bans are, for actually doing this. So some players have actually been handed out bans actually quite recently, and this means that they can no longer play at the last chance qualifiers at the end of the year. Now the last chance qualifiers are, as they say, a last chance qualifier for Call of Duty Champs or playoffs, like the biggest tournament in Call of Duty at the end of the year. It won't be on LAN this year, but still a big tournament that players at the top level of Call of Duty are going to want to have to compete in to actually try and play. So the fact that people can be banned for getting these free wins, when I have to admit, I don't think there is any other way to actually play Pro Points at the moment. I don't know anyone that actually plays legitimate Pro Point matches. I find this really ridiculous, and I think is something that definitely has to change. Another issue I have with the Pro Point system is points reset every year. So you'll get your Pro Points for Call of Duty Cold War, and then into, I believe, Vanguard next. Your Pro Points will reset at the start of the year, but you can only start playing Pro Points once you turn 18. So say, hypothetically, someone turns 18 in July. And they're really good, they're really talented, they want to compete at Champs, but they've turned 18 right at the end of the year, so they're not going to have enough Pro Points to qualify for the last chance qualifiers event, so there's no way that this potentially very, very skilled player could actually even make Champs to start their sort of Call of Duty Challengers career, if you will. Now, I don't really know what solution to this would be. Maybe they reset at multiple times throughout the year. I'm not really too sure, but I do think it's wrong that if someone turns 18 late into the year, they actually have to chalk up the rest of that year and can't start competing in Challengers actually until the year afterwards. I also think the Pro Point system and the lack of Pro Points that people might be getting in tournaments actually sort of really negatively impacts the Call of Duty player base, and a lot of people think that the Pro Point system is very much defining of the year. So if you don't get good Pro Points at the start of the year, that is your seeding for future tournaments sort of ruined, and then really you can't actually do that well throughout the rest of the game, because you're always going to be at a disadvantage because you're bad Pro Points. And I did a little bit of research just to see whether a lot of people sort of feel this way, and of course there are other factors that might cause people to stop playing the game, but at the third 2K of the year, it's the first one that I could find. I couldn't find number 1 or 2, but the third 2K of the year had 390 teams enter it. If we look at the one that happened last week, the 2K number 19, that only had 84. So that is literally over 300 less teams that have entered the tournaments. And I mean, I know Cold War hasn't been the best received competitive game, but it's not awful. And so you have to think that a good, like a decent amount of those people that have abandoned it are people that just sort of think the pro point system is a little bit broken and I'm always going to get bad seeds. So really, it's not going to work out for me. So I really think Call of Duty have to do something there in order to actually help people stick with the game longer and not make them feel that if they have a few bad events at the start of the year, then that is their entire year wasted. Now, something that I should point out is no LANs really doesn't help this, and I know with COVID they can't actually have LANs at the moment, but I definitely think the fact that we haven't had any LANs is really detrimental to the Challenger scene. Even in the US, you have the local LANs that maybe aren't CDL organised, but people can still go to LANs. But here in the UK, honestly, we have nothing, and that is very, very annoying for me and for literally everyone else that plays EU COD, because the best way to judge talent is to play at LAN, and granted, we can't have had them last year with COVID, so that is fair enough, but definitely I think next year we do need to see a lot more Challengers LANs, and we do need to start seeing some sort of developer support behind them, or the Activision support behind them, because I think if you look at the home series, they had LANs all of the Modern Warfare season while they were around, but we've heard from Activision themselves that they're potentially considering reducing the amount of in-person events for more online favoured sort of tournaments. And if we see that in the Challenger scene, that is going to be terrible, and that is going to really, again, draw more and more people away from competing in Call of Duty Challengers, because playing at LAN is what everyone wants to do, so not being able to have the opportunity to do that is it's going to be really annoying. And yeah, even I would consider not playing COD if I can't play at LAN. Now, next thing I want to talk about is franchise teams actually having academies, because we've seen this a little bit. London Royal Ravens had an academy at the start of Modern Warfare, and New York Subliners and LA Guerrillas actually have had academies during Cold War. But really, we need to see more than just 3 out of the 12 teams actually having had Challengers academies. Because I think the opinion is at the moment that it's largely a friendship league. So the players that have friends that are in the Challengers or in the amateur scene, they're the ones that are going to get first to get picked up. And really, for the true Challengers talent that maybe doesn't have the connections, it's going to be really hard to actually move up into the top level of competitive play and actually move up into the league. So for that reason, I think the academy is going to be really important for actually being able to scout talent for these teams. And I think there's actually a lot of good reasons to have one for an organisation, a lot of benefits for them. Because, I mean, look at the LAG Academy. I don't know if you've seen the tweets, but the LAG Academy team are actually smoking the actual LAG CDL franchise team in scrims all the time. And while that may not be the case for every team, they're at least going to be very good practice for the teams to actually scrim against. And then both the Challengers and the Pro League teams can actually learn a lot out of that. So if I was the owner of a CDL team, the first thing I'd do right now is consider getting an academy team. Well, maybe not right now, it's the end of the Call of Duty season, but going into Call of Duty Vanguard, I hope to see a lot more of the CDL teams start to make academies and start to field academy rosters that will both help sort of strengthen Challengers, because there'll be established teams and established team names in Challengers, as well as actually help in the actual league, because these players will be moving up onto the pro rosters and essentially will be finding the best talent as opposed to just the friendships, how it does seem a little bit at the moment. But that is about it for today's video. Sorry it was a bit of a rant. I just sort of felt like I had to get this on my chest and speak about this, because I do think there are a few issues in Call of Duty Challengers right now that do need to get resolved. But hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to drop a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.